Hey, what is going on guys? RVZ Stealth here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips for the mid lane. If you guys haven't seen tips for top lane and tips for jungle, then I'll leave a link to them in the description so you guys can go check those out if you want. And I'm going to be doing it in another top 5 format. However, the tip at the number 1 spot is no better than the tip at the number 5 spot. So let's get into the video. My first tip is going to be to make sure you're hugging whichever side you have warded. I'm going to put up on screen right now some good spots where you can plant wards when you're playing as mid lane. So you want to make sure that you are favoring the side that you do have warded as opposed to the side that you don't, because it's going to be a lot harder for the enemy jungler to pull off ganks on you if you are hugging the side that you have warded. My next tip is going to be to make sure you're pushing the wave in before you roam. So whenever you are looking for a roam, if you don't push the wave in, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of potential CS, and you're going to be it's going to be a lot easier for the enemy laner to push the wave in and get a lot of damage off on your tower. So if you are looking to roam, then make sure that you're pushing the wave into the enemy's tower so that he loses CS, and so that it's going to be harder for him to push the wave into your tower and take damage off of your tower. My next tip is going to be, if you're pushed in lane, then make sure you're not using your gap closer for harass. If you're above the midway point, then make sure that you're not doing this, because if you use your gap closer for harass and the enemy jungler is sitting in the bush waiting for you to use it, then it's going to be really hard for you to escape the gank. I wouldn't even recommend for you to be above the halfway point unless you have it warded really well, because even if you do have your gap closer up, it's going to be hard for you to escape a gank. But just make sure that you do have your gap closer up if you are pushing a little bit, because it's going to be a lot easier for you to escape ganks that way. My next tip is going to be to make sure that you're roaming if you're on a strong roaming champion. For example, Fizz, Akali, Katarina are a few champions who are really good at roaming, and they benefit a lot from picking up kills when roaming. So when you hit level 6, if you're ahead in lane or if you're going even, then make sure you're looking to roam. So push the wave into the enemy team's tower, and whichever lane is getting pushed, then roam to that lane and try to pick up a kill, because you're going to be able to snowball your team, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to win games if you can help your team pick up kills. Then you could even take the tower whichever lane you roam to. So roaming is just a really easy way to pick up kills, and it's a great way to carry games, especially from the mid lane. So my final tip is going to be to make sure you're calling your MIAs or your Mias or your missing in actions, because in the mid lane, there are a lot of really strong roaming champions. Like I said, Fizz, Akali, and Katarina are really great at roaming, and they benefit a lot from it. So it's especially important when you're playing mid lane to call your Mias, because if they do roam and they do pick up kills on your teammates, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to win games. So just make sure you're pinging your lanes, make sure that you're telling them that your enemy laner is missing in action, because it could help you win a lot more games if the enemy laner is not picking up kills from other lanes. And if the enemy laner does go and roam and you can't get there in time to deny whatever he's doing, then make sure that you're pushing the lane into his tower and getting some damage off on the enemy laner's tower, because if you can't make it to bot lane when your enemy mid laner roams down there, there's no point in going down there and wasting your time and then walking all the way back to mid lane where you have basically achieved nothing. If you can't make it there in time, then get some damage off on the enemy's tower, because it's really the best case scenario that you could get out of it. So that is all for the video, guys. If you enjoyed, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't seen tips for top and jungle, then I'll leave those in the description below, so you can go check those out if you want. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.